The single most determinative factor that makes Wyoming the best trust jurisdiction in the United States is the fact that we have private family trust companies. You form a private family trust company by filing with the Secretary of State for the state of Wyoming a limited liability company with certain provisions in it. Those provisions make you a trust company in Wyoming. What they do not do is they do not subject you to the protection or the regulation under the Banking Commission statutes. This is important. It's your company. You run it how you see fit. It is also important to note that as the manager of the limited liability company that acts as the private family trust company for your trust, you make the determinative decisions about what goes on inside that trust, because Wyoming is a small business state. We believe in the right of people to run their businesses as they see fit. This trust structure allows you to do that. The only provision that you need to be aware of, the distributions have to be entirely discretionary and outside your control. We provide a discretionary distribution committee that you, on behalf of the trust company, make requests for distributions. We consider those requests, and it's utterly in our discretion as to whether or not those distributions occur. This is the DDC, the Discretionary Distribution Committee. This is what keeps creditors out of your trust. Acting as the DDC for your trust is not something that we take lightly. We comply with the statute. We protect your trust assets. Most other states will require you to go through a bank or an independent trust company. If you have a small business and you're running that business underneath the ambit of the trust, what value do you think that there is that that bank provides in running your business? It provides no value. It's something that you undertake. It's your business. You know that business. You don't need the bank looking over that business telling you what to do. If a bank becomes your trustee, they're methodical. This means that they're going to take their time and make sure that every issue submitted to them has been thoroughly vetted, they understand the issue, and they come to the correct decision. This does not work very well in terms of running small businesses where decisions have to be made quickly based on institutional knowledge. A bank has no institutional knowledge of your private family business. Having them act as a trustee of that business is going to slow you down, and you're going to lose a lot of opportunities. Wyoming law recognizes that. That's why the private family trust company allows you to maintain control over those businesses and to run them as you and your family see fit. The second thing that makes a Wyoming trust so unique in the United States is the way in which our court systems approach the administration, formation, and dissolution of these trusts. I feel that our courts are unique. I feel that the judges inside these courts understand small business, small businessmen, and families. Wyoming is a small state. There's 500,000 people in this state. I was born in Montana, raised in Wyoming, graduated from high school in Wyoming, went to college in Wyoming. I know this state. More importantly, the state knows me. We know the people in it. We know what it takes to run businesses. We know what it takes to keep families together, small families together. We preserve, we protect that. It's as if everyone knows everyone else. This is good and bad. But at the end of the day, our courts respect the dynamics of small business and the dynamics of family businesses. This is reflected not just in the way that these trusts are structured under the statute, but most importantly, the way that the courts look at them and come to the decisions concerning them. I'll give you a third thing that makes Wyoming unique. I had a client from Atlanta who wanted to come to Wyoming, look over the facilities, see if what I was telling him was true. So I invited him in. On Monday, he left Atlanta. He got as far as Minneapolis and was snowed in for the night. He slept the night on a linoleum floor at the USO in Minneapolis. He then flew to Billings, Montana the next day because that's as close as he could get to Sheridan, Wyoming. He couldn't rent a car, and if he had been able to rent a car, the roads were closed anyway. He finally got to Sheridan Wednesday afternoon. He visited with me for about an hour, maybe 2 hours. Then he turned around and he headed back to Billings. He didn't make it to Billings, spent the night in Hardin, and made it to Billings the next day, which was Friday. He then flew back to Atlanta and got there late Friday night. When he called me on Saturday morning, he says, I'm absolutely exhausted. It took me 6 days to do 2 hours worth of business, and I got snowed in. I slept on a linoleum floor. I'm absolutely miserable. I see what you mean that you can't get to Wyoming sometimes. And that's one of the things you have to take into account. There are just some times that you cannot get here from there. This increases the cost and expense of maintaining litigation against you in Wyoming. And really, at the end of the day, when you look at the way the courts have established these trusts and they enforce these trusts, a lot of people are going to bow out before they get too far in the litigation because the law simply is not on their side. The good thing for you is that you don't have to come to Wyoming to set up your trust. You can do it from the comfort of your own home. The takeaway from this is that Wyoming is just an incredibly strong place in which to have a trust. Wyoming will protect your family. Wyoming will protect your assets. We are, quite simply, the best trust jurisdiction in the United States. I've been an asset protection attorney for over 42 years. I've formed businesses. I have run businesses. I've been on every side of a business. I'm a certified public accountant. I've litigated bankruptcy cases. I served as a bankruptcy trustee for 3 years in the state of Colorado. I administered over 1,000 bankruptcy cases. I've litigated tax court cases. I have litigated securities law cases. I have litigated cases involving asset protection trusts. My experience speaks for itself. I've been through the hard line of a court asking questions under penalty of perjury. I can tell you unmitigatedly that Wyoming is the best asset protection trust jurisdiction in the United States. This is why I stress so much the value that Wyoming will give to you as an asset protection trust jurisdiction. When you're ready to move forward, click the link below and schedule a meeting with me. Let's start this process. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to the next video.